Well, welcome to Game Bros. This is Kuko.
And I guess it's Icarus 117 with a K.
Okay. And why Icarus?
Icarus, it's basically I really like the myth, and then this is so far back when I first made my Xbox Live account, and I went to make it, and they just you know they I couldn't make just Icarus spelled out correctly, so I had to start adding numbers to it. So I really like K, so I had to switch the C for a K, and then I still had to add numbers. So then I was like, okay, I'll just put like the Master Chief's numbers, and I've been using that gamer tag for pretty much every account ever since.
Okay, but why Icarus, the character? What brought you to like Icarus?
Oh, it's the myth. It's actually not the character from the Nintendo games. It's actually like the myth of the thing. It's interesting. It has like layers to it, and the older I've gotten, the more I've gotten out of that myth. So it's just something, and also the name. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, cool. So the reason why Icarus is here is because you can see right next to him, he's got his gaming PC he built. First of all, how long did it take you to build it?
How long? You mean in hours? Like when I got started? Better?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it
Cool.
works better when it's on.
Oh crap. So how long did it take me to build it once I got started, like with all the pieces and stuff,
No, let's say okay,
or
you
planning?
decided you wanted to buy one.
Right.
So first of all, you started thinking what parts you want. The motherboard, CPU, how much RAM,
Mm.
the gaming piece, the gaming card you want to put in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started out when the new consoles was coming out. I did the math in my head, and like I'm a hardcore gamer just like everybody else. So as soon as the new consoles started, information started coming out about them, I was all over that. I was like absorbing every single little news that I could get, and then I started doing the math in my head about which one I should get. And I've always played on PC, like I've always played all the Blizzard games and all that stuff, and I had to weigh it out, like which one of the three do I get, and surprisingly, it actually turned out that PC was the best for me because
It was actually the cheapest for me to end up getting at the end, and then from then on, I just started planning out. I learned more during this than ever since I built my first computer back in 2006. I built the first one ever, and I learned way more in this one. Uh, I learned a lot of stuff. Basically, how to get the most,
The most out of the PC that you're
not
building.
yeah, not only that, but like the most I guess power per dollar.
Okay.
Like people are always saying that like performance, like that's what you want to get, and honestly, it actually only takes about $600 or $700 to get a good gaming PC that can run pretty much almost any game on Ultra. So I started out with that price, and then I just started working my way down, like all the pieces. I went with AMD. I got an Asus motherboard. I The main thing about the computer that I wanted to do was this case. Once the first time I ever saw this case, I saw it and I was just like, "Whoa, what is that? That's a computer?"
computer. And then I looked it up and it's like, oh yeah, it's a gaming case. And I
I
was
was
like,
like, "Oh my god, I have to get my computer into this." And pretty much the case kind of dictated all the parts that I had
Yeah,
to have
because
in it.
you had a limited amount of space and you wanted to squeeze it all and cramp it all in there.
Right, and but the beauty of it is that this case is built for not having to compromise like barely at all. The only thing that you do have to get is that it does have be a micro ATX board. So you guys out there, if there's three main sizes of motherboards. There's full ATX, which is the motherboard that, for example, most computers have, like the one that we're editing or showing this video in. We have the micro ATX, which is the one in the middle, which is the one I got in here, and then we got the mini ATX, which are like super tiny
Wait up.
motherboards.
DJ Fuego, the pictures are not. Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to do. I just had to get a micro ATX board. That's the only thing that really changed that I had to like compromise on. Aside from that, it could fit like any type of video card that I really want to put in there, even like a GTX Titan, unless it's some crazy card that has like 3 fans on it. Then you can't fit it. But
Yeah,
I
but
don't
if
wanna
you
spend
want to
more.
go that big, you gotta change the box.
Yeah, but pretty much that that's one of the main things that I kind of learned with this. Is that one, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a gaming PC because I didn't have to, and second of all, you don't have to have a big computer. Like you just don't have to, unless you're running servers or you're running multiple video cards, or unless you want to have a comfortable like cooling solution. You have to want multiple radiators for water cooling.
most people can do just fine with a micro ATX, kind of like mine or a bunch of other ones that are out there that are way cheaper. This one specifically, the case was actually surprisingly one of the most expensive parts of my entire computer, just because it is so peculiar. It's the case actually was like $100, but you could get a good micro ATX case for 40 to 50. Like
Yeah.
so, it ends up being pretty well. And then so yeah, that's pretty much it. It's when you really boil it down, the reason why I got a gaming computer is because it's cheaper, because the games are basically dirt cheap
On Steam.
on Steam and on PC. Like speaking of dirt, the last Humble Bundle, which is where they throw a bunch of games and you pay whatever you want to get them. I got all the Overlord games, the last 2 Flashpoint games, and Dirt 3 and Dirt Showdown for $6.
Wow.
So and I've gotten
It's like almost $1 a game.
or less. Like also, I have, for example, on my Steam account, I have about 75 games, and I've done the math, and I think I've paid like $90
That's awesome.
for like all 75. And I have like Witcher 2, Assassin's Creed 3, like a bunch of.
And if
you
you go, minute per dollar, The Witcher 2 would make you, like, you can get a lot of gameplay out of that game.
Yeah,
that
like
game's
sometimes
amazing.
even something like one of those games that you get a lot of game out of, like Skyrim. Every single time they have a sale, Skyrim will go down to like $5-7.
Oh,
Or like something like Far Cry. I picked up Far Cry for like $7.50. Also, as soon as I built it, the first thing I got was the entire BioShock franchise for $15, and I just played through BioShock Infinite. You're probably watching right now you've probably seen some of the images of the computer actually running it. And in this computer, for example, I'm still running with my old video card. I still haven't changed the video card since my last computer. I'm actually gonna get it now this month. I'm gonna get a 760
okay.
NVIDIA, and so right now this is running on a 570 NVIDIA, and it's like a 2-3-year-old card, and it still plays something like BioShock Infinite at ultra and at like 45 frames or something.
And like you said, these are images off of the
Yeah,
game.
I took screenshots. These are images while I was running my new computer on it.
And it looks amazing. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit cheating on my part, a little bit. Not because the computer wasn't running already. It's just BioShock Infinite as a game. The art style and the direction that they went with is so beautiful that it actually doesn't take such a powerful hardware to make, just pretty stuff happen.
To make it run
Because
in a high
it's
res.
just, as soon as you can run it, as long as you can run a high res, that art style and that direction that they went with, it'll just take over, and it'll, look at that.
But see, I played it on the PS3,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see that the images are a lot clearer and crisper, and the colors are brighter and pop more than they did on the PS3.
Right.
So, so you said it's cheaper to buy a gaming PC or build your own gaming PC than to buy a console?
No. Obviously, when you compare something like a PS4, which is $400, to a PC that is worth $600 to $700, obviously, right off the bat, the PS4 would be cheaper. But when you do the math, and you do the math in the long run, it's, as a hardcore gamer, you get so much more value out of the PC. Not just because of the fact that the games are cheaper, which they are, like I just mentioned. I got like 6 awesome games for $1 a piece. It's because of the fact that everybody always has to have a computer.
And for example, me myself, I play both on consoles and on PC. I always play WoW and StarCraft and all that stuff. So no matter what, I have to have both. But then, so if you have to buy a PC that can run those games, which will cost you like $500, and then you have to buy a console, which also then you're spending $1,000. Might as well just dish out another 100 or 200 and get a really, really good PC that could just do both. So right there, you're already saving your money. Another thing that a lot of people don't think about is you pay Microsoft or Sony $60 a year to play online.
And if you just basically do the math, like right now, how long have you had an Xbox Live subscription? I'm sure you had it since like the very, very beginning. We're talking about like 10 years. That's 10 times 60. That's $600. That's an entire gaming PC already.
Yeah.
On its own. So you don't pay to play online. So that right there. And then also, it's just nothing compares to what a PC can do. I'm not telling you not to buy a console, because honestly, I think consoles, for the majority of people, for like 90% of people, I would tell them, dude, console all the way. Don't even touch a PC.
The good thing is now the times have changed in favor of gaming PCs. Like
Right.
before, it was kind of hard to get games because it would come out just for Xbox 360 or PlayStation, and it wouldn't come out for PC. And they'll come out eventually.
Yeah.
But now they're, especially now that the PS4 and the Xbox One are basically gaming PCs, the developers are making it for all three in one shot.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for you. And then now with with Steam and the big picture mode and having the Steam boxes coming out, and that's gonna help, the gaming PC market out a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just I was here when you guys. It's funny because I chose right off the bat that I was just gonna get a gaming PC and I was gonna skip out on the consoles for maybe a couple years. Maybe I'll end up getting an Xbox or a PS4 down the line. But I was here with you guys when you guys were gonna go and get your Xbox Ones and stuff like that, and I was just as excited because at the end of the day, even if you're a PC gamer, as hardcore as you can be, and I'm telling you, I love PC. New consoles are good for everyone, especially if you're into PC gaming. Because think about for the last 2 years, the only thing that have been holding PC games back is the fact that these developers have to make games for the consoles, which were great, but they were underpowered. So they have to make games to the lowest common denominator and then just push them a little higher for
To
PC.
make money, honestly.
Right, exactly. But now that all platforms are on the same level, they could just go crazy and everybody wins. So when people were getting, not only were the consoles awesome, and I played with the Xbox One, like I've played with it quite a bit, but I had an awesome time just like opening it with my cousin and taking it out of the box and seeing the capability that it has with the whole Connect thing, and it's just.
I think the new consoles are awesome. Like I wouldn't, you go online, like for example on Reddit or any type of forum that is dedicated to PC, and it is so the elitism of like PC gamers.
Man, I love PC just as much as everybody else, but man, the elitism is just like, holy crap. You go in there and you say you like console gaming and just like close down your laptop like immediately because the comments are coming.
And the internet.
I just go in there and I'm just like, dude, what the hell? The consoles are pretty good. Calm down. But yeah.
I never understood the fanboyism. It's like the companies don't make you any money.
Yeah.
So like if you push a certain company, it's not gonna fill your pocket.
Yeah, dude. One of the things.
What you want is competition. You
Exactly.
don't want Nintendo Wii U to go down the way it's going down.
Well, that's another topic right there. But yeah, the whole fanboy thing is just. Look, this is coming from
Like
an
I see all these
ex-fanboy.
people like so happy, like, oh yeah, Nintendo
Yeah.
Wii U's going down. I'm like, why? Why would you want
that
that?
one is actually, I don't think that one is as much of a fanboy thing because honestly, as much as I hate to see that,
Come
as
on,
much
man!
as I
Like,
hate
there's
it,
no more bigger fanboys than Nintendo fanboys.
no, I want up you.
It's
man.
like, come on, dog.
No.
The
PC
best game that
fanboys
ever
will take
existed
you.
was Zelda. Come on, Zelda? Like, really? Like, there's better games than Zelda.
Yeah, every single time that I see a Zelda game and I see like a perfect 10, I'm like, well, I guess I'll subtract 2 points out of that score for nostalgia.
It's like,
I
come
could just
on.
take
like,
out 2 points
like,
out of that.
okay, Zelda is good, but you can't say it's the best of all time because I can think of a whole bunch of like better games.
But honestly, I think a lot of the people that are enjoying seeing Nintendo's like struggle is because did you ever get a Wii?
For a month.
Exactly, I got it for 2 months, so I stuck in there a little
When
longer.
when
I
did you
suffered
get
a
it?
little
Did
bit
you
more.
get it the same time I did when Smash Brothers came out?
No, I got it earlier than that.
Oh,
I got it before that, so
sorry
I
about
suffered
that.
even more. I had a GameCube as well, but what I'm saying is like, I love Nintendo. I had an N64, I had a GameCube, and then I bought the Wii.
Well, everybody got addicted. It was like our entry drug was Nintendo.
But that's the thing. That's the company that we grew up loving and caring for, and we gave them so much money. And then they came up and they took out the Wii and they screwed all the hardcore gamers right up. Like it was just, they let us all down. It was just like your big brother. And he's been with you all your life, always having your back. And all of a sudden, when you need him most, because there was the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and they all looked really, really nice, but you chose to be loyal to the Wii and go out and get the Wii.
Mario
and they just let
Party
you
8.
down.
And I think that's why people are enjoying seeing Nintendo struggle is because they're happy, like, oh, this is what you get for leaving us in the dust, for not, caring after the people that built your company
But
for
see,
you.
that's what I don't get. Who are they to say like you left us? Like
I can,
they don't owe us anything.
They don't owe us anything, but there was this sense of like, look, me for example, I don't really care too much for it because I just sold my Wii and I got an Xbox 360 and I was happy. I was fine. But there's a lot of people that are really, really into Nintendo, and they're a company that they have grown up loving. And this company has all but basically outcasted them to go after this bigger market of people that don't care that much about gaming, and that has gotten them so much money.
But at the same time, this is my thing. If they like Wii,
Right.
why is it that they like Wii?
Why is it that they like? I don't think they
Because
actually.
they play Nintendo games,
Right.
which is Mario, Zelda, Metroid. The Wii U does the same. So they're still happy because they're still playing the same games that they want. The
They're
one
pl-
that's unhappy is the gamer that likes to play other games other
Exactly.
than that. And the people that play that don't have a Wii. They have an Xbox or a PlayStation.
But I think, but in all honesty, the GameCube and the Nintendo 64 played more games than just Nintendo exclusives.
yes.
But the Wii U can't. The Wii U has nothing.
But that's the
but
thing. You just said it. The GameCube and the 64. It was GameCube. And it was just Nintendo and PlayStation. It was just two. Now you had PC, but PC was very
Yeah,
small
PC
market.
was
It was very expensive. It was hard. Only
Yeah,
mom
that
and
was-
dad
that
had
was not-
stuff, and it was for
It
work.
was not viable.
But now, the PC gamer has grown because we as Nintendo gamers have grown up. So we want a better system.
And I don't actually think, that's a very interesting topic that you just bring up right now. I think that a PC has had a meteoric rise in the last 2 years, and I don't think it's because people are getting older or getting more, I guess, sophisticated with their gaming, with what they want to do with gaming. I think the reason why it's grown, it's because Xbox 360 and the console manufacturers slowed down, and they tripped over themselves, and they gave PC an opportunity to rise up. They took the console generation that we just had of the Xbox 360 and the PS3. It should have lasted only 5 years, but it lasted 7. And in those 2 years in between, where that console started to show its age really bad, that's when PC came out of nowhere and was just like, look what we have that they don't. So everyone else got to see all these games that they were playing, and then got to see videos of people playing it on PC, and it was almost a completely different experience. And that's where in PC,
Won over a lot of people. I know that's how they won me completely over. Like, if anybody remembers Battlefield 3, if you compare Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 3 on PC,
And
it's
console?
basically a different game. I actually bought that game twice. I bought it for consoles first because I wanted to play with my friends. Not all my friends have PCs. So I was like, okay, I'll play with...
cheap friends.
Tell me about it. I play with my friends.
and I was like, oh, okay, I'm sure it's not that bad. I'm sure it's, less graphics, whatever, but I'll play with them.
You know what else you see different? Not just the graphics. The people that are playing are different.
Oh, no, absolutely.
For some reason, they're less racist.
No, and they're actually more. They are actually more into their games. It's not just some guy that's in his living room blasting rap music in the background that no one cares for, and is just there smoking pot and playing Call of Duty. It's people that actually went through the trouble of building a PC so that they could play this game. So trust me, they're into it. That's all they want to do.
They put their time and sweat into it.
And
the only music we played was during Battlefield 3 when they had the Vietnam package. We used to play a lot of Creed in the background. But I'm sure we weren't the only ones doing that.
It's yeah. Have you seen? Remember the worst thing they ever did for Modern Warfare 2 is put that damn title that said pot something. Everybody had it. Like everyone had it. Everybody.
So let's get back into your PC build.
Right. Okay.
So we don't want an exact number, but around how much did you spend on it?
Okay. I'll tell you how much it costs. It costs probably this one right here. Probably cost $700.
Okay, that's
but
not
I
bad.
actually paid, I don't know, like 170 because
Since if you split it up into parts, you could get them all as pretty much like gifts for like Christmas. So the only part that I actually bought for it was the CPU, and that was $170, which I even got on special. It was 200.
and I got it $170. So that's why I pretty much spent the 2 to 3 months leading up to Christmas planning for it, and then between my girlfriend, my mom, and people I knew, they all just got me the parts, and there it is.
Oh, okay.
So but it's if you wanted to build like this one, it's $700.
Okay.
If you want to look.
Okay, so how much RAM does it have?
Okay, let's do like a guide. If you want to build a computer, what should you do? RAM 8 gigs. Get it. RAM is probably one of the things that goes on sale the most often. So if you just stick it out and look up sales every now and then, you could get RAM for $50. 8 gigs of RAM, $50, and that's it. RAM, 8 gigs. The CPU, at least a quad core. Games now, for example, take a look at consoles. They are running on a 8-core GPU, no APU, sorry. So that means that they have 4 CPU cores.
Yeah.
That means that games nowadays are taking advantage of 4 CPU cores. So if your computer has less than 4 good CPU cores, it's gonna throttle the computer. It's not gonna run. It's not gonna let the game run how it wants to run.
Yeah.
So at least a 4-core CPU. The one I would recommend if you want to make a budget computer, one for $600 that plays every game fine, I would say that the AMD 6300. It's a 6-core, and it'll run you probably $130, and that it's good. The GPU, I would recommend any video card that you could find for $200. As soon as you go on a graphics card more than $200, you start to reach the point of diminishing returns. That means that you're paying more money for less performance that you're getting. So, for example, $200 to $250, that's the sweet spot. That's where you're getting the most performance per every dollar. So yeah, that's GPU. What else? Hard drive. I'd recommend actually 2 hard drives if you want to go, nice and smooth. A nice SSD that you can get cheap. Like for example, right now you can probably get a 120 gigabyte SSD for $80. So that's good. And then you get at least 1 terabyte, probably a Western Digital, green or blue. That's fine. It'll probably go for like $60. So yeah, those 2. The motherboard. Pretty much the motherboard, that's where you decide whatever you want, because really the motherboard is like the console. That's
basically how many slots you want.
how many
to
slots. The motherboard
expand.
is what is going to determine the computer in the future. So if you want wireless built into the mother, if you want to have wireless internet built into your computer, if you want to have USB 3, if you want to have multiple expansion slots, that's for you to decide. Just get a motherboard that goes well with the CPU that you picked and that has all the features that you want. But honestly, you could get like for example, my motherboard was $55. And then
See, that's on my motherboard. I spent extra
Yeah, you
because
had
I
to.
wanted to future-proof my computer for the future.
And then what goes with future proofing as another component is the power supply. Power supply, I actually saw a video the other day which actually ran down and actually showed exactly how much wattage you actually need in a power supply. And the numbers were extremely low. For example, my power supply is 600 watts, but you actually don't need 600 watts. I don't even need 600 watts. You would be just fine with 500 watt power supply. So I would recommend the Corsair CX 500. It's like $50. That one's perfect. That one's good. If you're gonna build just a good PC with just one graphics card, you're good to go with just that one. And then aside from that, it's the case. The case is gonna be determined by the motherboard.
What about the cooling system?
cooling system? All right.
You just went with the regular fan?
No. I actually have. If you show the pictures or whatever, it shows. I went with a Cooler Master Hyper T4, which is a $25 non-stock, aftermarket cooler. It's that silver part in the middle, and it's pretty good. It keeps your temperatures really cool. The main enemy of any gaming PC or any strong PC is heat. Heat will affect your computer. It will lower its lifespan. It will also throttle your performance. Like for example, if your computer is just running too hot, it'll start just running sluggishly and trying to slow itself down because it can't continue to operate at that performance without damaging itself. So for example, my older PC, when I was running Battlefield 4, it was starting to just not only crash, but just run sluggishly because the CPU just couldn't go at that speed. So I would actually, if you're not going to overclock, go with the stock. You're fine with the stock. Aside from that, if you just want to have a nice, good temperature, it also depends on the temperature in the room. Like, let's say you have a really hot room, you might have to spend a little bit more and get another cooler. So I went just to be safe. I went with a nice, cheap aftermarket cooler, like the Cooler Master. It was $25, and I could even overclock a little bit with that one, but I don't plan to.
And I saw you build it outside the box first. What was the reason for that?
Oh, right, yeah. Well, it's work to build a computer. It'll take you, even someone that's really good at building computers, it could take them a good hour. And you don't want to build your entire computer inside of the case, which, by the way, this case, as beautiful as it is, it's a pain in the ass to work in.
To get inside and
it's very cramped in there. It's the best part about it is that it's small, but that's the worst part about it when it comes to building. So you don't want to go through the trouble of building your entire computer and finishing completely just to press the button and something not working. And then so that's why you build it outside. You build it outside. You put the main components, which is the motherboard, the RAM, the CPU, maybe even the GPU if you feel like it, and you connect it to a hard drive. and you just run it up outside and see if everything works. If everything goes, go for it. Build it. You're good to go.
Put it inside the box.
But for example, me, I installed the operating system outside the box and everything. Like my computer was running before it was inside the box, inside the case. Did we miss? Yeah, and then the case that you pick is gonna be determined by the size of the motherboard that you picked back when you were choosing your CPU. I would recommend, guys, if you're just the average person that wants to, that's the thing. No one that wants to play on PC is the average person.
Yeah.
That's the truth. But for the average, non-average person, you're good with a micro ATX case. You don't have to go full ATX and have this monster case. You don't have to have that. With a good micro ATX board and just a solid, $40 to $50 case, you're good. And I've seen quite a few of them. You just take your pick, whichever you think looks best. And always keep in mind, you want to have a case that you could do a good cooling in it. That you can put fans into it, because that's what you want the most. You want to make sure that all the components in there, especially if they're very powerful, to run very cool. It's going to improve your performance, going to improve the lifespan. And then I haven't talked about liquid cooling. If you're really hardcore, if you really want to
Mine has
overclock,
liquid cooling.
there you go. If you really want to go hardcore, if you want to overclock, by the way, guys, if you don't know that much, overclocking
is simply pushing the component.
Turbocharging your CPU.
Right. It's basically pushing the component further than what the original manufacturer intended it for, which you can do just as long as you keep it cooler.
Within the parameters that it.
Exactly. For example, it's kind of crazy when you start to get into this. You start to realize, like, damn, man, 2,000 years ago we were, hitting rocks with sticks, and now we're building these things, and a CPU will run at.
It could run up to 65 degrees Celsius if you don't have good cooling on it, and still run just fine. 65 degrees Celsius is 140 something degrees. It's some ridiculous temperature like that.
Super high.
So a good temperature for your CPU, depending on the CPU, is probably ranging from 25 to 40 degrees under load. That's the temperatures you want. So that's why you go with liquid cooling. Celsius, yeah, it's always by Celsius.
That's easier. So the liquid cooling is the new type of cooling. It's not by air. It's not by fans. It's literally this the water that runs through this puck that is on top of the CPU that it just cycles water through it, because not water but a specific
liquid, and it just keeps the temperatures low. And if you want to overclock, meaning push the component further, that's probably what you want, because it's the most effective way to do it. It's also a little bit more expensive, but I'm actually gonna go with liquid cooling soon, just because it takes up less space. And if you take up less space and you have less stuff in there, air can flow faster. Like this computer, probably the best thing that I did with it is really good airflow. When you turn this on, you don't even hear the components, and it does make noise, not because it's loud, but because there's so much air going in there. It sounds like just turbulence, like going through like a wind engine, like an engine. That's what it sounds like. So, but yeah.
Well, Jay from the chat room has 2 comments. He wants to know in your opinion, which is the best game on PC right now?
To push your computer, or just favorite game?
Well, give me 2. One that pushes the computer, and one that you.
Your favorite game is, dude. PC has gotten to the point, like you said, back in the day, PC just wasn't up to snuff like in the consoles. It just didn't have the same games at the same time. But now it kind of has, and some versions, it has better versions of those games on PC. Like, for example, the Arkham Origins. That game looks completely different on PC. And I was playing Batman Arkham Asylum, which is a game that's 3 years old now. I just got it in one of those humble bundles for less than $1, and I shut it up. It looked like next gen. It was crazy. So your favorite game on PC is gonna be up to your taste. If you want PC exclusives, which PC has more exclusives than consoles, because it has all those indie games and all.
But come on.
DayZ. Tell me you don't want to play DayZ.
Oh, but DayZ's coming for the console too, though.
Really?
But some of these games that they
want to see
bust
that
their, they're like, oh my god, you gotta check out this game, and it's
Minecraft.
Super Meat
Minecraft
Boy.
was an exclusive.
It's come on.
Okay,
really?
okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Or these 8-bit looking games. I'm like, I just built a $1,000 PC to play this 8-bit looking game.
Fine. Every single Blizzard game ever made.
Well, you could Assassin's Creed looks really good on PC. It looks a lot better than it does on console.
No, I think. Well, I haven't seen how it looks on PS4, but I'm sure it looks.
It looks good, but it does look better on a PC.
You can push it a little bit.
And then
further.
you got your Battlefield 4s, your Call of Duties, whatever.
Yeah, if you want to push your computer, here are the ones that I see.
Crytek.
When you want to push your computer, here are the ones that I see. I see Metro Last Light. I see Crysis 3. and I
Did you
see
like
Battlefield
Metro
4.
Last Light?
I haven't played it.
Like to me, it was super like overrated. Like it
Really?
was just a regular just game. Like they made it seem like the AI is so intelligent. I'm like it's just like any other game. Like I don't get like
Yeah, I mean, but I personally haven't played it, so I can't talk too much. I have that's the funny thing. I got a THQ Humble Bundle. I got like a bunch of THQ games for like $6, and Metro 2033 came in, and I haven't even touched it.
Well, Metro Last Light is free for the
It's a
PS3
game.
now. It's, you know,
That is awesome, by the way. Like
I'm sorry to tell you, like I know that Xbox Live is so super good and everything that you guys say it is, but
No, I don't care.
the PS Plus right now, the PlayStation Plus is
It's-
destroying
it's
it with the
whooping
free
his
games.
ass. No. Honestly, look,
Like you got BioShock now, you have
BioShock Infinite too. It's not
BioShock
just like the
Infinite.
first
Yeah,
thing,
that's the
BioShock.
thing. They don't give you guess what? You got Halo 3. What the hell? There's like 3
Yeah.
other Halos in
No,
between
no,
that.
sorry.
So you're getting the BioShocks, you're getting this, and they also Jay says, so what is your computer N-word rigged?
I'm not sure what he's trying.
That's
to
what
say.
I asked him. I go, which one are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
He just doesn't like to admit that he likes Gears of War and Halo.
Who, me?
No, Julio.
Oh,
I don't know if it's Julio though.
no,
I
I
don't
don't.
No, but people who do that.
But that's the thing with the
Gears of War fans.
that's the thing with the PCs though. That's the whole thing with the whole Steam boxes now. You're gonna have variations of infinite stuff. You're gonna have some with a bunch of hard drive space. You're gonna have some with a bunch of RAM. You're gonna have some with strong CPUs. You're gonna have some that got strong GPUs. So that's the different combinations. Like one of the Steam boxes I saw was called the Piston, and they were gonna come out with every 6 months a new upgrade kit, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
No,
it gets kind of expensive though. Every 6 months you got to keep upgrading.
But you don't have to. I mean, that one, like for example, that one that you buy, like that Piston, the first one that comes out that you buy, that thing will last you just as long as a console would. I mean, look at the consoles now. Look at how bad they looked during like the 5th year. Like we were starting to see like, you guys can do a little better. And that's the thing with PC. If 5 years or 3 years down the line, you start to say, hey, this is not looking so great in the console. You just have to wait it out until they decide.
Yeah,
to
but at the
release a new
same
one.
time, the problem with consoles is like if you ever saw like God of War or Last of Us,
Yeah.
look at the graphics that
They
they
look
got
very
out
good.
of Last of Us.
But that's the thing that's PS3. That's because PS3 always had a leg up, and the PS3 could have gone even a year further than the Xbox.
But what I'm
360.
trying to say is it all has to do with the developers too, how much work they want to
No,
put into
yeah,
it.
absolutely. No, absolutely. But
So-
they do reach a point that they just can't. Like for example, Last of Us looks amazing, but you can see there's still no anti-aliasing.
But
in that game.
we're also thinking like the PS3 has like 1 megabyte of GPU.
Yeah, but that's to
But
show
then
you.
now you think about the new PlayStation's got like 8 gigs.
But that's the thing, though. You cannot measure. When it comes to consoles, they break all the rules. You can't measure their performance by their specs because right now, my computer, the GPU and the graphics card in my computer is 3 years old and it's better. It's like almost comparable to what they got, and they're just brand new. Their hardware might not be as good. It might seem unimpressive, but the integration that they have between all those components is unmatchable. That's why for example, the Xbox 360 had 512 megabytes of RAM or some ridiculously low number like that. But look at the games that it can run. No PC with 512 megabytes of RAM can run anything. You're lucky if you could install an operating system on that thing.
Yeah.
On a PC, you could always go to the extreme.
Yeah.
And not care about your frame rates.
Yeah.
But on a console, they always lock some.
Yeah, frame rates, for example.
The average.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's what I've always said about PC. Anybody, look, there's the Xbox 360 there's the Xbox fanboys, there's the Sony fanboys, the Nintendo U fanboys, the Nintendo
Two of
fanboys,
them.
which are bad. But then, I've met all of them. I've been one of them at some given point. I gotta tell you, the PC guys are by far the best fanboys there is. But that doesn't matter. This is what I always say to PC fanboys. If PC was the end-all perfect gaming console, like gaming platform, no one would buy consoles. People aren't stupid. People
Want the best. And it just means that PC is just not the best for everyone. It's the best for the 10% that are into this stuff. They're into building their own computer. They're into spending 2 to 3 months of planning and spending 5 hours on Christmas Day building a computer and installing drivers and finding ways to maximize their performance and caring about all these things. and they don't care. They find that stuff enjoyable. Like to me, 50% of the fun is doing all that stuff. 90% of people don't want to do that. They want to get home after work and turn on their say Xbox on and play freaking Rise.
Not have to
So-
start a game and then you don't
Exactly.
have the drivers and this and that.
Exactly. PC is amazing. It's the best. It's just not the best for everyone. And the consoles are really good at what they do. Honestly, I have my gripes with them. I mean, honestly, I'm a PC gamer for a reason. I have my gripes.
gripes with the consoles, but I think they're good. The other day we were talking about the consoles, and we were talking about how why don't they just allow Julio, a friend of ours, he was like, "Oh, I wish I could I could have like 2 monitors and stuff like that." And I just said, "Yeah, why don't they just do another monitor? Why don't you just put another plug into the back of the Xbox One and just say, hey, you want to connect another monitor or another TV with an HDMI? Go for it. Maybe okay, sure. Maybe we have to push the resolution
Their
down a
answer
little."
to that is the smart glass.
My answer to that is I don't want your Windows Surface, and I don't want to have a tablet. I want to have 2 screens. I want to watch Netflix while I'm playing Call of Duty. What if I want to do that? I mean,
I think they're just considering the setup that most people have in their house.
no, absolutely.
Why waste that resource coming up with that?
Exactly.
When 99% of people only have one.
Absolutely. That's yeah. Most people probably wouldn't do that, but that's it's stuff like that. Why not give consumers more than what they're asking for? Why just give them exactly like, for example, I don't believe in playing online. I believe that the only reason why Sony and Microsoft get away with making people pay for it is because people continue to pay for it. Because honestly, I was having an argument with my cousin the other day of why Xbox should
but
be
stuff
free.
costs money though. You gotta if you want good service, all that costs money.
Steam gives me a good service and doesn't charge me anything.
Yeah, but Steam is not running like millions of consoles in one shot. Like it's small right now. Even though you might think it's big,
Small.
it's still not bigger than what PlayStation
It has
has.
I'm telling you right now, Steam has a bigger install base than an Xbox One.
Oh, everybody does. Even Wii U does.
Well, but they're giving it to me for free, and Xbox One isn't.
No, but what I'm saying, but once you get to a certain point, when you get big enough, when you're managing millions and millions of accounts and buying this and that, you're gonna start having to have more servers and maintenance and all that costs money.
That's the thing, though. I think that's the thing, though. Steam is doing that, and I have an even better example. Why do I have to pay if I want to change my gamer tag? Why do I have to pay for that? You're basically
That's Xbox. That's not.
Xbox, but Steam's just like, you want to change your gamer tag? Sure, whatever. It's your freaking name. Change it. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Xbox is like, give me $10. Oh,
$10?
you want to change your name to Captain Poopalot? Give me $10. Sure.
$10. Damn, that's
It's
crazy.
like it's like $8 or something when you translate it into their stupid points back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just little stuff like that. Like I feel like just yeah, this is my cousin that changed his name. It's funny. My cousin has one of the best Xbox names I've ever seen. It's Cyfix. It's just an awesome name. It's not from a movie. It's not from anything. It's just a name he came up with, Cyfix, and it's no numbers, no nothing. It's just a nice, good name. And for some reason, one day he's like, "Here, Microsoft, $10. I want to name myself Captain Poopalot now." And then he did that, and everybody's like, "What? Why'd you change it?" Guess what? Here, Microsoft, $10 more, change it back to Cyfix. And I was just like,
And that's why they do it. They just got $20.
Exactly, and that's exactly
And
my
if
point.
imagine if a million people do that just to mess around, that's $20 million.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
So you it happens a lot, and that's just free money, extra money. Like microtransaction in video gaming, we have to switch because we've been at this for like 40 minutes. So
Yeah.
we're gonna take a break. But before that, I just want to say like. Microtransaction is killing right now. They're making so much money. They're like raking it in from $1 here, 50 cents here, $1 here, and it all adds up little by little. Before you know
it
you're
boils down
millions
to
and millions of dollars.
voting with your dollar. The stuff that you pay for, the stuff that you keep
Supply
buying,
and demand.
it will stay there. It will stay there. Look at it right now. The Wii U, they're thinking.
They nickel and dime me for than not have the service at all.
Right.
As a normal person, but people do.
But my thing is, if you charge me $60, that's fine. I'll pay you the $60, but don't nickel in. Like we have a soccer team, and we were gonna enter a league, and that's what kept me from entering the league. They wanted to charge me $1,000 to make the team, and then they were, oh, by the way, you gotta pay me $100 for the team, and then $50 per each player. I'm like, what the hell? Dog, you already charged me $1,000.
No,
So that's how I feel. Like, oh, I'll pay you whatever you want, but don't nickel and dime me after that too.
No, there was a huge problem with that in Forza, in the new Forza 4. It was it got to such a ridiculous point that when you were playing the game, the same option to pay for something extra came out in 2 options in the screen. Press Y to advance, press X to get more points. Like they were selling you microtransactions twice in the same screen. It's
like I don't like Killer Instinct looks good and everything, but the way they set it up, like to me, they set it up for failure.
No, actually, you know what? I'll take Killer Instinct and I'll say that they actually had a pretty good model because at the end of the day, they gave you a free game. So you could just like
They gave you a free stage. They gave you a free demo.
They gave you a free demo for you to try out your brand new console.
Yeah,
if you
but-
don't buy the actual game, pay $25.
Chris, they gave you one level,
They
one
could've just,
guy.
Would you have preferred if they would have given you absolutely nothing and then charged you just $25 for the whole thing?
I mean, the math kind of
I'd rather them charge me $30 and I got like a couple of stages and a guy
no, the whole
instead of
thing.
free
I think
for
But that's
one
the thing.
guy.
That's the thing though. What makes you think about it as in this is an actual game or a demo? The way I see it, it's a demo, and then if you want the full game, you pay the $25.
But even then, you still couldn't do it, dog, because you had to pay $30 and you would have got 3.
I don't think they ever called it anything.
They called it a game. They're like, you get a free game with one character, with
Okay,
one
sure.
stage.
Maybe when they mention game, people are expecting more, but I think
Look, when you hear game, you think more than one stage, one character. It was one stage, man.
yeah.
So
No,
much value for that.
I see that. I just
would have
think
paid. I would easily pay $10 for 3 characters and 3 stages. I felt I would have got more than one. It's because you kind of felt like, damn, like really one guy.
To get into the game.
Yeah.
Get into the game in one.
right. Yeah. It's. I don't know. I honestly saw it more as a demo, but yeah, microtransactions are here to
Yeah,
stay.
you said it's a demo, but man, when they were pushing the Xbox One, you're gonna get Forza, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get Killer Instinct, and everybody's like, oh shit, Killer Instinct, no.
Nah, honestly, Microsoft made a couple of mistakes when they were announcing the Xbox One. Let's not even.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we'll
I
say
think
that for
I think
next week.
microtransactions are here to stay as long as people just keep paying for them. So
Yep.
if you don't want microtransactions to be so prevalent, stop paying for Candy Crush. For the love of God, it's basically Bejeweled. Okay, why are you people making such a rave about this game when it's basically a game that's been out for 30 years?
I refuse to touch that damn game.
Yes. So we're gonna take a break. We'll check out this video about the Xbox One and usernames that you just finished talking about. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna switch from our video game section to our sports section. All right.
Dem Feind gelungen, die Front in breiter Formation zu durchbrechen. Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor. Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow.
People mad because usually when people get mad, they'll say your gamer tag in rage. So when they say Xbox sign out, it'll bring them up to this screen. Now, some people will hit the sign out button because they're dumb, but most of the people will catch themselves and give us a good reaction. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like below.
Xbox sign out. No. Close.
Get out of my way! You freaker! Xbox sign out! Xbox sign out! Get out of my way! I don't want to say this, but whose name is Xbox sign out? Uh-oh.
I want to say this guy's gamer tag, but it will end up signing me out. Oh, Xbox signed out. Capped me. No, I didn't mean to sign out.
Xbox sign out. No! Back!
Wow, I just said his name, and it also, like, put me into the thing where it says my Xbox.
Wait, no. Xbox don't. Don't do it! No! His name is really clever. Fuck me. I almost did it. What do you want, Xbox sign out? Oh, crap. Oh, I see why his name is that. I almost signed out.
Some kid's name is Xbox sign out. Oh shit! No! Some kid's gamer tag is Xbox sign out. And then I said it, and it was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "No!" And I was fucking Xbox sign out. Stop listening! No!
Hey guys, his name's Xbox. I'm not gonna say it because that's a naughty trick.
Xbox sign out! Xbox sign out. Xbox. Oh shit! Close! Stop listening!
There's a buddy. Oh, we got Xbox sign out on our team. Holy fuck.
Oh, he wants us to read his name, so
So our Xbox says it. Yeah, I'm not saying that dude's name.
Oh, Xbox sign out, my man. Hey man, you remember me from yesterday? Oh my, do not say that. Do not say what I just said, man. You see this gamer tag?
Right.
If you say that, it will sign you out.
Xbox, sign out. You're so dirty. Oh my. Okay, I said that, bro. I said his name. it said sign out too.
Xbox sign out. You. Oh.
Xbox sign out? What the fuck? Stop listening.
Welcome back to Game Bros. We got a special guest. We brought him in all the way from Denver, apparently.
Hey, MVP MJ King, and
Dang, it's been a minute since we had you on.
yeah, no.
Been what, like a year?
You know, give or take a couple weeks.
Okay, first of all, it is Super Bowl day. It's happy Super Bowl Sunday. So first we're gonna talk about the AFC NFC championship games. Of course, you guys can see by his shirt who he was rooting for. I actually didn't think the Broncos could pull it out against the Patriots. I thought the Patriots had what they needed to have against the Broncos. I thought they were gonna Bill Belichick, being the genius that everybody makes him out to be. I thought he was gonna pull it out and actually confuse Peyton Manning, but I guess he didn't.
I don't know. Sorry, that game Denver had it the whole time. New England. During the regular season, New England shouldn't have won either. They got lucky there. But, sorry, I'm biased with that. Denver's going to win no matter what.
I understand that, but what do you think that the Broncos did to beat the Patriots?
I mean, I don't think they did anything different throughout the season. They played. Peyton Manning played good. That's about it.
Okay, and
you know what, Tom Brady missed a couple of chances. That's where New England.
No one's talked about that. I saw the game and I expected ESPN's to jump all over Peyton to jump all over Tom Brady. He missed a lot of passes, wide open receivers, and he completely missed them by a lot.
Yeah.
He was looking like Eli Manning almost.
But he missed great chances like Edelman in one pass. That was for sure a touchdown.
And those little plays, like here and there, add up, and then they change the course of a game.
Yeah.
They could have actually been in the game, and because of the superstar, Mr. Tom Brady, they actually lost the game because of him. I believe.
I do believe he has a big fault in it, but it's not just his fault because the defense didn't they didn't stop Peyton Manning either.
Yeah, but the Patriots, their defense is weak, and at the same time, they have a bunch of injured players too. So, but at the same time, they also made it to the AFC Championship game. So it wasn't like a sorry team that made it there. It was a legit team.
Yeah, that's true. But one thing
about New England is they didn't have all the superstars that they have sometimes, like Edelman, who knows him. Like Amendola didn't do that well either.
Like he was non-existent. But that's always the Patriots' way, though. They always win with these no-name guys that they make into superstars. Like the Danny Woodheads of the world that now he's with the Chargers,
and
rushing.
Wes
Welker, that's with your Broncos now. So let's switch over to the San Francisco 49ers Seahawks game. I thought San Francisco was going to destroy the Seahawks, and it looked like it in the first and almost second quarter. It looked like San Francisco was going to run away with it, and then I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Seattle should not have won the game whatsoever. They played worse. San Francisco beat them and everything. They just scored more.
They just couldn't finish. They got a turnover at the beginning of the game where Russell Wilson fumbled within 30 or 40 yard line, and they couldn't close it out. They ended up kicking a field goal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That game, San Francisco, I was going for Seattle that game too.
No, I understand. I know both of your teams won. Both of my teams lost. But my thing is they make a big deal of Kaepernick, and to me when it comes to the big games he kind of shells up.
Well, no, I don't know about that. I thought Kaepernick did pretty good. Yes, at the end he threw that interception.
Yeah, but that wasn't his. Like, the receiver could have done a better
Yeah.
job going up for the ball. He could have done a better job fighting for it. He could have also not thrown it. It was first down. They could have worked their way and got closer, but he did the pass he thought he would. But at the same time, there's some certain times where he runs the ball, and there's certain times that he can run the ball and he doesn't. It's kind of
I don't know. I think he played good that game. He had over like 100 rushing yards. I think he kept them in
more than any other player. Like their defense, I mean, I think he kept them in the game.
And they got away from running the ball with Frank Gore too.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that?
No. But Seattle's defense stopped him every time he had the ball. A yard?
Yeah, but you got to keep them honest. You got to keep. You can't just say, "Hey, that's it. We're not gonna run the ball no more."
I don't know, man. Every time Gore had the ball,
I didn't see no production. I mean,
the offensive line's got to open up the holes for him. But you also got to, like when you run the ball, and even if you don't run the ball productively, that opens up the play action, which they didn't have in the second half.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. Seattle, I mean, they should have won. San Francisco, they lost it themselves.
So now let's get to the Super Bowl talk. So who's gonna win?
Denver.
But now you're being biased. You're just picking your favorite team. But why?
I don't know. Me personally, I don't think Seattle played good, but I don't know how they won all their games. Like it was up to like certain plays that they won, and they were luck plays. Not all of them were given, not because they were the better team. They just got lucky.
Which division is better, AFC or NFC?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think AFC.
AFC is better?
Yeah.
Like the only two AFC teams I can name that are good are the Patriots and Broncos.
Yeah.
In the NFC, you have San Francisco, you have the Seahawks, you have New Orleans, you have who else? That's it. But I think overall they're a better, stronger conference.
Who?
The NFC.
I mean,
and they play like old school football. That's what I like about the Seahawks. The Seahawks play like 1990s football, not 2000 football.
Like NFC is more tough. Like I don't know. I guess I like the passing of the AFC better. Like they're more offensive than defensive minded, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Broncos to me don't have that like Jerry Rice or that Calvin Johnson receiver.
I mean,
they have a lot of good receivers.
Wait, I think Demaryius Johnson, Thomas, he's a good receiver. I think he's a good receiver. Now, Wes Welker, not like a...
Hello? We have a caller? Hello? Guess not.
Like, I mean, if you ask me, I think Denver has better receivers than Seattle.
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't think Percy Harvin is going to be a big factor?
Okay, no. He's a good receiver, but I just think like him is like.
What about Sidney Rice?
Sidney Rice is too, but I mean I haven't seen him do. Okay, I think
Sidney Rice matches up with Demaryius Thomas and.
Who's a better running back, Marshawn Moreno or?
Oh, okay.
Or
Marshawn Lynch. But no, I think that's more like when I see him run. Okay, no, he's better. I don't know.
Okay, so now that's wide receivers. We just named a couple receivers. Wes Welker's pretty good, but I don't. He's kind of old. He's not what he used to be.
I mean, I still think he could keep up. I mean, I think him and Percy Harvin has the same job. Like they do what each other have to do.
So, defensive wise, who would you rather have, the Broncos defense or the Seahawks defense?
Okay, number one defense versus what, like 27th?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I would prefer Seattle defense, of course.
So like all this conversation we're having, it sounds like the Seahawks are gonna win.
Okay, but now talk about the quarterback. With those receivers, what can they do? I mean, Russell Wilson.
Come on, now the whole Peyton Manning lore has been kind of broken now because now they know that Omaha thing is all BS. That every time he goes Omaha, he's really not changing the offense.
I mean, it still works. I mean, New England couldn't stop it.
Well, New England's defense is not the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Okay, true. But, I mean, no one has been able to stop Peyton Manning.
Why, they didn't lose this season?
Okay, yes, they did.
Come on, man. You gotta come. You're killing me here, Matthew.
All right, but I mean, it's not like Seattle's undefeated either.
Well, how many games did the Seahawks lose?
1 or 2?
Lost, I think, 3 games.
Oh, 3? Oh, Denver lost 3 games too, so they're even.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think the Broncos are gonna pull it out and Peyton Manning is gonna be the greatest quarterback of all time?
Nah, I don't think he's the greatest quarterback, but yes, I think Denver's gonna win. I think their offense is better. Like, okay, running, I'll give it to Seattle, but I don't know. I think their offense runs better. Not run, but works better than Seattle.
I think a key for the Seahawks is actually when the game starts, if they are physical and like they say, pop them in the mouth and completely like get them off their game. That's what's gonna change the outcome of the game.
Yeah, whoever wins, like, if Seattle's secondary wins against the receivers, Seattle's gonna win for sure. But
I don't know. I think the Denver's receivers can handle it.
Yeah, I that's my problem. I don't see the Denver Broncos receivers being that much greater than what the 49ers had. Like, if I had to choose between a wide receiving crew, I would pick the San Francisco 49ers wide receivers.
okay, I mean, I guess they're more.
And the tight end, like Vernon Davis, is pretty good.
But then again, I'm sorry, but Kaepernick didn't give it to them.
Like Peyton will.
Like Peyton can. Yeah.
Peyton's gonna give it to him.
Yes, he's gonna give it to them.
Better than Kaepernick gave it to them.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Are they gonna take it?
I mean, depends if Seattle gives it to them too.
Oh man, so I don't know. I find it very hard to believe that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. He did the whole like They want that D.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta give it to them.
Yeah.
So, I'm leaning to the Seahawks. I'm sorry. I think their running game it will be good. I think Russell Wilson is good enough to get him over. I don't think he's like that outstanding quarterback, but he's he does what he has to do to get the game.
Yeah, to win.
To win. And I think the defense always, like they say, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. So,
But I mean, okay, that was back in the day. Offense do a lot more now. Just saying. That's how I feel.
Can you stop with the mic, please?
Man.
What's the difference though? Like last time we had number 1 versus number 1, who won? Last time we had the number 1 offense, which was the Oakland Raiders, against the number 1 defense, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who won?
Tampa Bay.
I know that the Raiders don't have Peyton Manning. That's what everybody's gonna say. Oh, they had Rich Gannon.
They had the number 1 offense that season.
That season.
Oh.
They did have Jerry Rice and a bunch of bad players, but at the end the number 1 defense did what they had to do and stopped them and got the ball back and they actually scored most of the points, which I think is going to happen today. And a lot of special teams. Percy Harvin, to me, is going to be the difference maker.
Okay, but he hasn't played much this season either. So like, I mean, what if he's just a big flop this game?
But what would make you think that?
I mean,
just because he hasn't played doesn't mean, oh shit, I forgot how to catch a ball. I forgot how to run for my life.
I don't know. Some players make it seem that way though.
Well, not any good players. Like most of the guys that are okay make it seem like that. I never seen Jerry Rice miss a couple games and then all of a sudden come back and not know how to play. Look at Michael Jordan. He sat out for like almost 2 years, came back and won 3 straight championships. Good players don't forget. Bad players are the ones that might not get it back. I'm not saying Percy Harvin's Jerry Rice, but he's pretty good though. He was a difference maker in Minnesota, and it was just him by himself. Yes, he played for the Vikings.
No. I know he, but no.
Before
it
that,
wasn't him by himself.
Oh, it was Rice was over there for a little while, but Sidney Rice left and Percy Harvin stayed for like the next 3 years. So.
I mean, but wait. Adrian Peterson was there too, and he took a whole bunch of the load as well.
Well, he does. Well, Marshawn Lynch takes a lot of the load now.
All right, true.
So, what do you think about this whole thing with the cornerback from the Seahawks and what he said?
Me personally. Oh wait, about Crabtree.
Yeah, about him. Oh, Crabtree sucks. This and that, and they're
Personally,
going crazy.
I
And
think he had a big head right there. Like, yeah, he's a good player, but I don't know. I never saw him to be amazing. Yeah, he's good, but
you played football growing up, right?
Yeah.
Were there any guys on your team that
Oh,
were like that?
hell yeah.
That's why I don't seem like I get astounded by how ESPN's like, wow, NFL players are like this. I'm like, what do you? They're all like that.
Yeah, what the heck, like. But
Like Deion Sanders was like that growing up. He always talked like that. You know, Jerry Rice always thought he was the bomb, and all the great players want the ball, and they always think they're the best. I'll be afraid if my cornerbacks and DBs and my wide receivers are like, oh, I don't know if I can play or not. I might suck. You know, like I tell a lot of people that sports is all confidence.
It is.
You know, the more confident you are, the better you think you are good at certain thing, you're going to do good. Once you start worrying, you start double thinking yourself, that's when the problems start. But once you think you're good and you're playing and the flow of the game starts slowing down, that's when you actually play good.
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, I didn't think he did anything too bad by saying it. I mean, hey, he made a good play. You know, he got excited about it. That's all it was.
And everybody forgets that social media and Twitter and Crabtree was talking a lot of, you know, shit. And it feels good to shut him up and say, hey, you know, like I schooled you. Like, you know, learn how to play.
I agree.
So anybody does that. You know, it happens in playgrounds. It happens in parks every day. Some guy gets to the park, thinks he could ball more than the other guy and talks a lot of smack. And then when you bomb him, you let him know, hey, look, I bombed you.
Yeah.
It happens every day. I don't understand what's the big deal about ESPN and all this. You know, like you're playing basketball with your friends and you drop, you know, make it wet, and everybody's like, you know, it just happens.
Yeah, like, I don't know. They made it a big deal. I mean, like you said, it's just talking smack. It's not too much.
So you heard it here. Kuko calls Seahawks.
Denver.
MVP MJ King says Denver. So next week we'll know who was right and who was wrong.
You want to put another cheeseburger on it?
A double cheeseburger this time. This is a Super Bowl. We're going big.
I go for the Seahawks.
All right.
Oh, Coquito says Seahawks too. Why? He's just agreeing with Dad. Right? Just, yeah. So, all right, guys. We want to thank everybody for our show. We want to thank Icarus for showing his computer and raising our knowledge. We just leveled up from level 50 to like level 80 on PC building. We want to thank DJ Fuego for producing the show. We want to thank MJ King and MVP MJ King for showing up and dropping his Denver Broncos knowledge on us. Who's the best quarterback that ever lived? Don't say John Elway.
No. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Back in the day, I've never seen them, so I can't say.
From the moment you were born to now, who's the greatest quarterback you have ever seen?
I'm sorry, but yes, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, one of them.
Okay. I hate you young kids.
I mean, I never got to see Dan Marino play. Never got to see none of them. So, I mean, from what I've seen, I would say Peyton Manning.
All right. Coquito, who's the best quarterback that ever lived? Yeah. So we'll finish it like that, and we want to thank everybody. And if you guys like our show, please subscribe. And we actually have a caller. Somebody wants to call in. Let's see. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Who is this?
It's me, Julio.
Hey, Julio. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Congratulations.
On what?
Being the first caller to the GameBros show.
Oh, I popped your cherry then. Sweet.
In this case, you popped like 3 cherries in one shot. I don't know if that's possible, but you did it.
That's how I roll, baby.
You want to go in? You're going to go in all in, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what's up? What do you want to talk about?
No, just calling in, let you guys know that I believe the Broncos are going to win.
Oh, we got another Broncos fan here. So let's why? Elaborate. Convince me. Change my vote.
Peyton Manning's too much of a veteran quarterback to just blow it all away in the final game. And I honestly think it's the final game of his career if he wins.
No, he already said he wasn't gonna retire after this.
Why would
He
why
may
would
say
you
what he
why,
wants, but
why
I'm
would you
sure-
throw away $30 million?
Hey, rather go out on top than. Do you really think he needs the money?
That's true.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't. But you know what's better than 30 million? 31 million. So it's always better to make more money when you can, because and then afterwards you can't make it. So, but Peyton Manning has choked before. What makes you think he's not going to choke again? He's choked in the Super Bowl and he's choked in the playoffs. He's got that mantra that he's a playoff choker.
He's already failed once in the Super Bowl, also won once, so I'm sure he prefers the feeling of winning again rather than choking. And as good as Russell Wilson, don't get me wrong, I love the Seahawks as well. As good as Russell Wilson is or has been throughout the season, I don't think he has the mental capacity yet to win a Super Bowl like Peyton Manning will.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Football's it's to me it's a whole different animal when it comes to when it's a team sport. Basketball's got 5 players. That player plays offense and defense. Football is like one of the only sports that you get off the field and go do your turn. Like hockey, they go up and down. Soccer, you go up and down. Football's the only sport where you actually play and you actually have to leave the field and leave it up to the other guys. So the Seahawks, when Russell Wilson's good, but also their defense is a big thing. Like they always say how Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback that ever lived. It also helped that he played on one of the greatest teams that ever existed. Like everybody forgets about Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Brent Jones, Roger Craig, and now defense, Ronnie Lott, Bill Romanowski when he was drafted. So. The Broncos, my thing with the Broncos, I don't see that offensive, they're good at offense, but I don't see that player that you're like, I can't wait to see this guy play.
No, you're right. But in my personal opinion, the quarterback is the head of the beast, and they're always proclaiming that quarterback's the most important position in a football team.
What if in one of the first plays they just hit him so hard and mess up his neck?
Okay, then who's the backup?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What is the backup going to do?
Without Peyton Manning, I don't think they can win. That is true.
And at the same time, I don't think the Seahawks can win if somebody goes down. What the heck is happening in the studio right now?
That sucks. Yeah, they can't hear what they're saying.
They're wondering what you're saying, since only me and Matthew can hear and DJ Fuego.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, no, I mean, you're right. If Manning goes down, it's very difficult for them to win. Same could be said about the Seahawks. I mean, yeah, they have a running game, but how far can that really go before Marshawn Lynch tires out?
Yeah. No. It's not like he carries the ball a little bit. He carries a lot of the workload. He's like one of the 99, 80s style running backs where he's on the field the whole time. He doesn't go off on third downs either. He's on the field most of the time. So
every down.
But if Peyton Manning wins, that's it. They'll just crown him the greatest quarterback that ever existed. They'll give him a couple hand jobs and send him on his way.
But can you really argue the fact?
I can, but people might not agree with me. I think Dan Marino's the greatest pure passer I've ever seen in my life. Pure passer. I'm not talking about quarterback because the quarterback has more, but pure passer, I've never seen a guy pass the ball like that guy did. He was on a team where his coach didn't want him to pass the ball. Peyton Manning was on a team when they said, here, pass the ball. Dan Marino passed the ball when it was a league for running. They didn't have, hey, don't touch the receivers and all that stuff. Yeah. He didn't have, Peyton Manning never had a defense either, so that argument's kind of out the window. But my biggest gripe was that Peyton Manning was a great quarterback, but they let him do his thing. I felt like Dan Marino was always hogtied. They're always like, you got to run the ball. Don Shula always, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball.
Oh, most definitely. But then again, like you're saying, it's a different era.
And,
Back then, it was more of a
Dan
ground
Marino
and
would
pound.
lose games 45-50. 40-45. it was down to the wire every time because he had no defense. He had no running game. It was just he was on sorry teams. It's just like, who's the greatest running back? Emmitt Smith.
No.
Like, hell no. Barry Sanders was. Why? Because he was juking people in the backfield. You know, he started running the ball from the backfield. Emmitt Smith would have to run the ball like 10 yards down the field when he was trying to juke the safety. It's not the same. And like I always say, you know, football's a team sport. You're winning the game. You get off the field, now you're losing because your defense just gave it up again.
Yep.
So, again, we want to thank you, Julio. Thanks. We appreciate it. Thank you for being the first caller on our show.
No problem, guys.
So good luck with the Broncos thing, man. You want to put a double cheeseburger down too?
I'll put a McChicken or some nuggets.
Oh, now this is serious. He's going with a McChicken and chicken nuggets. So we want to thank everybody. We want to thank our sponsor, McDonald's. Apparently, McDonald's is sponsoring the show. You want to thank all the viewers, and thanks to everybody for the show. Remember, live in your world, play in ours. Game Bros.
Peace.